During the November 24th service at the Potter's House in Dallas, Texas, Bishop T.D. Jakes, a beloved pastor, spiritual mentor, and globally revered leader, left his church and online audience very worried. Jakes was known for his powerful sermons and unwavering dedication to spreading the word. The 66-year-old bishop's sudden health scare shocked everyone in the P Sanctuary, as well as his millions of fans watching from around the world. The church was packed with people, eager to hear Bishop Jakes' message. When the famous preacher had a sudden medical emergency, wisdom became the center of fear and uncertainty. Jakes' mood changed significantly in the middle of his sermon, which made people worry right away that he might have had a serious health event, like a stroke or heart attack. With many people bowed their heads in prayer, others whispered in concern, and some shed tears, the congregation felt the weight of the moment. The service started with Bishop Jakes sat down, a change from his usual lively style. Even so, his love for ministry shone through as he spoke from the heart about his commitment to his job and his love for the people he serves. His voice echoed through the sanctuary as he talked about how important it is to have faith, be resilient, and keep going even when things get hard. But as he went on, his energy seemed to fade and his movements became less steady. People close to the pulpit noticed that he was breathing hard and that he paused a bit when he spoke, which led to an... As a true leader, Jake tried to push through his discomfort so that he could deliver the message. But moments later, the tension in the room became palpable as it became clear that the bishop would not be able to continue. The church's ministry team and medical staff moved quickly to help the bishop, along with ushers and security. While Jake was being carefully cared for, staff quietly worked together to keep things running smoothly. At the same time, many people in the crowd joined hands in prayer and raised their voices to ask for help from God and healing for their beloved pastor. People from all over the world who watched online shared their worries, support, and prayers for Jake's quick recovery on social media. The sudden event was a wake-up call about how hard church work is on the body and mind, especially for someone like Bishop T.D. Jake's effect goes far beyond the walls of his church. For decades, his sermons, books, movies, and leadership have changed the lives of many people, earning him a place in... As one of the most respected spiritual leaders of our time, Bishop Jakes' health scare made many people think about how heavy his responsibilities were and how important it was to put himself first, even for someone who seemed to be bigger than life. As word of the incident spread, people from the Christian community and beyond showed their love and support by sharing stories of how Bishop Jakes had changed their lives and sending messages of hope and well wishes. Even though the service had to be cut short, the congregation stayed strong in their faith and believed that their spiritual leader would come back stronger than ever. As more information about his condition came to light, people around the world watched, prayed, and waited for updates on the health of the man who has spent his life encouraging others to be bold in their faith. "I still love to preach. I ain't tired of preaching," Bishop T.D. Jakes said with a sincerity that echoed through the Potter's House. His congregation reacted with loud applause and cheers, showing how deeply connected he has become with his followers over decades of ministry. He sat down, but didn't change his mission to inspire. Jake wiped his face, and with a voice that was both vulnerable and strong, he said, "I miss you." This wasn't just a passing thought. It was a look into the heart of a man who has dedicated his life to serving others through his ministry. Jake is known for how strong he is. He continued to share a powerful analogy that showed how preaching can change lives. Using the example of visiting hospital patients, he said, "You think you're giving something, but you're getting back more than you gave." As he added softly but firmly, his voice was rough with emotion as it held the weight of thanksgiving and deep love for his congregation. "I love you." At that moment, the room was filled with respect and love for each other between the pastor and his image of a leader who not only gets ideas from the people he serves, but also gives them to others. But amidst the cheers and applause, a quiet worry started to ripple through the sanctuary. The hand that held the microphone started to shake a little. At first, the tremors were so small that people sitting farther away might not have noticed. Jake automatically lowered the microphone, maybe to hide the fact that his hand was shaking, but those watching did not miss the moment. Close up. The bishop's wise and vulnerable words became even more moving when it became clear that he was struggling physically to deliver his message. At that moment, the congregation's applause changed from simple appreciation to a deep recognition of the strength and dedication of their beloved leader, Bishop Jake. Bishop Jake has spent decades giving his whole heart and soul to his ministry, and he was clearly struggling with a moment of human frailty, a stark reminder of the weight he carries as a spiritual leader. Bishop T.D. Jakes is a well-known figure and a man who is deeply committed to his calling. As he went on with his sermon, his tone became more solemn and prayerful, and the room fell silent. He begged, "Lord, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight." The crowd hung on his every word, and the powerful prayer that has become a hallmark of his ministry lifted their spirits. The words came out of his mouth. There was a clear shift. Jake's body shook a little, which wasn't like him and was a bad sign. The handkerchief he was holding fell from his hands and hit the ground, a small but telling sign that something wasn't right. His team, always vigilant, knew right away how serious the situation could be, so his armor-bearers and support staff sprang into action, quickly running to the stage to help over the church's sound system. Urgent voices could be heard through the speakers. Silence, with respect, people on Jake's team could be heard telling the congregation to clear up and give him some room. They used firm but calm language. Not only was the plea a command, it was also a barrier to protect the beloved pastor so that he could get the care and attention he needed without the crowd getting in the way or adding to the stress. The mood in the room changed from happy to worried. Many worshipers bowed their heads in prayer, and others quietly looked at their spiritual leader with worry in their eyes. Despite all the chaos, Jake's congregation stayed strong in their faith, and their love for him was clear in their response. People watching from home were just as scared, and they flooded social media with prayers and words of support for the man who has done so much for them. It was a weak moment for a person who is usually seen as strong, but Jake's connection to his congregation and his unwavering faith served as a reminder of the shared strength. At the heart of spiritual leadership is compassion. As the scene played out, the camera that was filming the live service moved. As the camera pans across the congregation, people who were clearly scared but united in their faith extended their hands toward Bishop T.D. Jakes. This powerful act of prayer and unity showed how much they loved and respected the man who had led so many of their spiritual journeys. Soft murmurs of prayer filled the sanctuary, making it feel heavy with worry, but full of hope amidst all the chaos. On stage, people from the audience could be heard pleading with God to help. "Lord, cover him in your healing power and touch him," they said. Jesus, the energy in the room matched the spiritual intensity Jakes had often made people feel. For a moment, it seemed like time had stopped. The whole church was focused on the well-being of their beloved pastor. As the situation unfolded, the live stream of the service abruptly ended, page 6, leaving many people online. And not believing others leaned on their faith and asked everyone online to pray together. Now it's our turn to pour back into him. One person tweeted with a video clip of the last few seconds of the feed before it was cut off, and another person wrote, "Bishop T.D. People of faith are praying for Jake's health and strength." Quickly, rumors started to spread about what had happened. Many people wondered if Jake had had a stroke or some other major health problem, with doctors and commentators weighing in. Official statements were noticeably missing, which allowed rumors to spread. Despite the uncertainty, one thing stayed the same. Church members and fans around the world shared their love and support for Bishop Jake and their faith that he would recover and continue to inspire others. The online chat wasn't just about fear or worry. It showed how much Jakes has meant to millions of people. For many, it wasn't just a person going through a crisis. It was a father figure, a mentor, and a friend, a source of hope in their own lives. More and more sad posts continued to flood social media as people from all over the country and the world expressed their worries and prayed for Bishop T.D. Jakes. One person, thinking back on their own medical experience, shared what looked like a stroke. "The same thing happened to me when I sat with my legs hanging off the edge of the chair for too long. I got a blood clot." This comment struck a chord with many as they tried to figure out what could have caused the scary event. Others speculated on possible medical causes, and one worried fan said, "Hope it's not pneumonia." A lot of different theories were made because no one knew what was going on. Some people thought that the stress from all the claims might have played a part in the PR. One person wrote about how much pressure many public figures, including pastors, are under when dealing with scandal or personal problems. Despite the uncertainty, the main feeling was one of hope and compassion, and many words of support. Places that have fans writing prayers for him and his family and believing for healing and restoration. The outpouring of love from his congregation, online followers, and fellow ministers showed how deeply connected Bishop Jakes is with people all over the world. Later that night, Jake's daughter Sarah, Jake Roberts, posted on Instagram to let everyone know that their prayers and support were greatly appreciated. "Thank you so much for your prayers and concerns. We feel the love," she wrote. In the first part of her heartfelt film, Sarah stood next to her husband, T. Roberts, and thanked the community for its overwhelming support. T, giving more reassurance, confirmed that Bishop Jakes was getting the care he needed and asked people to keep praying for his health and recovery. Their calm demeanor and words of thanks gave those anxiously waiting for reports a sense of peace. There was a collective sigh of relief among the millions of people who had been anxiously expecting news of Bishop Jakes' health. T. Roberts, who was standing next to his wife Sarah, shared good news about the bishop's health and showed deep gratitude and faith. He spoke with a heavy heart. "Obviously, today could have been a tragic day, but it wasn't. By the mercy of God, by the grace of God, Bishop is doing well. He's recovering well. He's under medical care." His words gave me relief because they reaffirmed that prayer and God's help had been very important in keeping Bishop Jakes safe from what it could have turned out much worse. Tor's statement echoed the tension of the moments before the live stream abruptly ended. Many people were scared for Bishop Jakes' health because they didn't know what had caused him to collapse so quickly. Hearing from his family that he was in good hands and getting medical care was a relief for many who had been praying for his quick recovery. Sarah Jake Roberts, who looked incredibly relieved, added her own thanks, focused on the good signs of improvement she had already seen. She spoke with a voice filled with gratitude. "I'm so grateful that he's already beginning to improve." Her words gave the family hope and a sense of progress, and the news that Bishop Jakes was on the mend struck a chord with his followers, who responded on social media with prayers, support, and words of encouragement. Many people expressed relief and joy at hearing that the beloved pastor was stable and recovering, with one person writing, "Thank you, Lord, for protecting him," and another praying for a full and speedy recovery.